707 horsepower, a sound that shakes the ground, and tires that turn into smoke in under a second. This isn't just a car. This is an American monster called the Dodge Challenger SRT Hellcat. Let's find out why this machine became a legend and why people are still obsessed with it today. The story of the Hellcat began back in 2015, when Dodge decided to do something nobody was expecting. At a time when every car manufacturer was moving towards small turbocharged engines to save fuel and meet emission standards, Dodge did the exact opposite and dropped a massive supercharged V8 into a car that still looked like a classic muscle car from another era. The name Hellcat wasn't picked at random either. It's borrowed from the Grumman F6F Hellcat, an American fighter plane used during World War II that was famous for its raw power and speed in aerial combat. Dodge wanted people to understand from the very first glance that this car wasn't a toy and that it was here to shatter every expectation. And that's exactly where the madness starts, because the Hellcat is powered by a 6.2-liter supercharged HEMI V8. This isn't a normal engine, it's a forced induction beast that gets extra air pumped into it so it can produce far more power than any naturally aspirated engine of the same size ever could. The base version put out 707 horsepower, and later, versions like the Red Eye pushed that number all the way up to 797 horsepower. The torque figures are just as insane, sitting around 645 pound-feet, which is what lets this car rocket from 0 to 60 in under 3.6 seconds in its strongest trims, with a top speed that crosses 200 miles per hour on certain models. Just think about that for a second. A car that weighs well over 2 tons, accelerates like a purpose-built race car, and that's simply not something you expect from a vehicle built for public roads. But the numbers alone don't tell the whole story, because the real magic is in the sound. The moment you plant your foot on the throttle, the noise coming out of the Hellcat isn't just an engine sound, it's an experience on its own. Countless owners around the world will tell you that sound alone is worth the price of admission, because it's this combination of a deep, angry rumble and the whine of the supercharger that makes anyone standing nearby immediately understand they're in the presence of something completely different. When it comes to design, the Challenger takes you straight back to the golden era of American muscle cars from the 60s and 70s, but with a distinctly modern edge. The wide, aggressive stance, the boxy retro silhouette, and that massive scoop on the hood called the air catcher, whose entire job is to feed cold air straight into the engine so it can perform. At its absolute peak, the moment you need maximum power, step inside and the cabin carries that same sporty character, with supportive bucket seats designed to keep you planted during hard acceleration, and a large touchscreen loaded with performance settings that let you fine-tune nearly every aspect of how the car behaves. There's even a dedicated launch control mode that helps you nail the perfect start off the line without wasting a single ounce of that power. Before we keep going, if you're enjoying this video and want to see more content about powerful cars like this one, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a new upload. Now, let's get back into what makes this beast so special. When it comes to actually driving one, people who've spent real time behind the wheel of a Hellcat describe the experience as terrifying in the best possible way. That's because there's simply so much power relative to the car's weight and grip that you have to stay sharp on the throttle at all times, especially through corners or on wet pavement, since it doesn't take much for the rear tires to lose traction and step out from under you. That said, Dodge did equip the car with advanced electronic systems that help drivers manage all that power, including traction control and torque distribution systems that keep things from getting out of hand during hard acceleration. There are also multiple drive modes to choose, from depending on your mood and where you're driving, with a comfortable street mode for everyday use, and a dedicated track mode for anyone who wants to feel absolutely everything this car has to offer. Over the years, Dodge never settled for just one version. They kept pushing out new variants, each one stronger than the last, and each one adding to the legend of the Hellcat name. There was the Red Eye, which bumped power up to 797 horsepower, followed by the Super Stock, built specifically for quarter-mile drag racing and putting out 807 horsepower. But the most famous of them all was the Demon, widely considered one of the most powerful and quickest cars Dodge has ever produced. With certain versions crossing 840 horsepower, the Demon was built primarily for the track and drag strip rather than daily driving. And it even came from the factory with special drag radial tires and extra hardware designed purely to help it post the fastest possible acceleration numbers. So why do people love the Hellcat this much? The reasons all tie together pretty naturally. First, there's the sound and the feeling behind it. Because this is a genuine V8 with no electronic trickery or fake amplified noise. And that's an experience you simply can't get from electric or hybrid performance cars today. Second, there's the raw, unfiltered power. Not power that's been smoothed over and calculated to feel safe, but power that hits you hard and honest, something you feel in your entire body as the driver. Third, there's the value for what you're getting. Because when you compare the Hellcat to European sports cars putting out similar horsepower, the Hellcat costs a fraction of the price, which makes it an incredibly appealing option for speed lovers who don't want to spend a fortune to get it. And fourth, there's the authentic American character behind it, since the design and identity of this car trace directly back to the roots of American muscle cars from the 60s, tapping into a deep sense of nostalgia that resonates with car enthusiasts everywhere. Unfortunately, there's an important point we need to mention here, which is that production of the Challenger, as we know it, with its traditional V8 engine, has actually come to an end. Dodge has shifted toward a new era built around electric vehicles and completely different specifications, largely to meet increasingly strict emissions regulations around the world. That shift is exactly why used Hellcat prices have climbed noticeably in recent years, since these cars are now viewed as a genuine piece of automotive history. Plenty of people are buying them not just to drive but as a long-term investment, betting that values will keep climbing now that production has ended for good.